The Roman Republic, established around 509 BCE, marked a pivotal shift from monarchic rule to a more complex governmental structure that ultimately influenced the development of democratic systems worldwide. At the heart of this new system were the consuls, senates, and a dynamic political interaction known as the struggle of the orders. The early Roman Republic featured a mixed constitutional framework where power was divided among different political entities, each holding varying degrees of influence. The executive branch was headed by two consuls elected annually, who wielded significant authority but were kept in check by their limited term and accountability to the senator body composed primarily of patrician members who represented Rome's aristocracy. The significance of this structure lies in its attempt to balance power among various social classes, which included the ruling patricians and the lower-class plebeians. This balance was critical in maintaining internal stability and mitigating class conflict. The struggle of the orders was the socio-political struggle between these two classes, where plebeians sought political equality and social justice. This conflict led to significant reforms, such as the creation of the tribune of the plebs, which empowered plebeians with political representation and veto powers, and the eventual publication of the 12 Tables, a legal code that addressed inequality under the law. Two notable examples that illustrate the early government structure's significance include the office of the consul itself and the law of the 12 Tables. The dual consulship model was revolutionary, offering a form of checks and balances that ensured no single individual could hold excessive power. Meanwhile, the 12 Tables served as an early attempt to provide transparency and codify laws, laying a foundational role in Roman legal tradition. Supporters of this government structure often highlight its innovative blend of oligarchic and democratic elements, which encouraged civic participation and promoted social cohesion. However, critics argue that the power remained largely in the hands of the elite patricians, with plebeians gaining only limited influence despite the reforms. The ongoing tension between patricians and plebeians influenced other aspects of Roman society, including economic laws and military organization, driving Rome's evolution as a republic. These internal dynamics were critical in shaping the republic's capacity to expand and maintain control over vast territories and diverse populations. Over time, the compromises reached during the struggle of the orders contributed to a flexible political system that could adapt and thrive in changing circumstances, illustrating the complexity and enduring legacy of Rome's early governmental framework. The early governmental structure of the Roman Republic was a complex system designed to balance power among various entities, primarily the patricians and the plebeians. The Republic distinguished itself from monarchies by adopting a mixed constitution, incorporating elements of democracy, oligarchy, and monarchy. The primary executive authority was in the hands of two consuls who were elected annually. Their powers were significant, but checked by the Senate, a body dominated by the patrician class, which wielded substantial influence over legislative matters and foreign policy. Meanwhile, the popular assemblies, where citizens could vote on laws and elections, introduced a democratic element, albeit biased towards the elite. The struggle of the orders refers to the plebeians' prolonged struggle to achieve political equality. Initially excluded from most aspects of governance, the plebeians gradually secured rights through persistent demands for reform. This dynamic between patricians and plebeians was crucial because it marked the first significant internal challenge to the Republic's power structure, driving political evolution. As plebeians sought to break the patrician monopoly, they won the establishment of the office of tribune of the plebs, which granted them significant political leverage, including the power to veto decisions by other magistrates. This struggle and its resolution laid the foundation for a more inclusive political system, albeit one still fraught with disparity. Examples of the impact of this struggle include the creation of the 12 Tables, the first codification of Roman law, which addressed many plebeian grievances. Additionally, the Lex Canulea, which allowed intermarriage between patricians and plebeians, softened social divisions. Both these developments were direct results of plebeian pressure and highlight the significance of their struggle. Scholars argue that the tensions between patricians and plebeians were essential for the gradual democratization of the Roman Republic, nurturing a political culture that promoted legal reforms and checks on power. However, challenges persisted, such as ongoing social inequality and political corruption. Some historians contend that the reforms provided more symbolic appeasement than genuine equality, arguing that real power remained concentrated within a small elite group. In the wider context of the Republic's rise, these internal conflicts and resolutions were pivotal. They not only shaped Rome's political landscape, but also influenced future governance structures. The struggle for a more inclusive political system underpinned Rome's expansion, reinforcing the Republic with a more resilient citizen base capable of meeting successive challenges. Yet, it foreshadowed future tensions that would eventually contribute to the Republic's decline, illustrating the complex interplay between power, reform, and societal evolution. The formation of the consulship was a pivotal aspect of early Roman governmental structure, providing a foundation for the Republic's political system. The consulship emerged around 509 BCE, replacing the monarchy with a republican framework that sought to balance power and prevent tyranny. Consuls were the highest-ranking officials in the Roman Republic, elected annually, and they shared executive authority equally, each having the power to veto the other's decisions. This arrangement was crucial in mitigating the concentration of power, embodying the Republic's foundational principle of checks and balances. The significance of the consulship lies in its role as a cornerstone for Roman governance and its influence on modern republican systems. By establishing a duality in leadership, the consulship exemplified a commitment to shared power and accountability. This concept has parallels in contemporary political systems, where executive power is often distributed to prevent abuse, like the presidency in checks and balances present in the United States government. A notable example of the consulship's function can be seen in the Senate's decision-making process. During times of military crisis, consuls would lead armies, making critical decisions that reflected not just their strategic prowess, but also their diplomatic skills in negotiating Senate directives. Moreover, the consulship significantly influenced the struggle of the orders. It was at the center of the patrician-plebeian conflict, with plebeians fighting for access to the consulship as part of their broader struggle for political equality. This eventually led to the creation of the office of the Tribune of the Plebs, illustrating the broader impact of the consulship on balancing class power dynamics. Nevertheless, the consulship was not without challenges. Controversies often arose, such as accusations of corruption, electoral manipulation, and the potential for gridlock if consuls failed to collaborate effectively. External opinions from philosophers like Cicero offer support for the consulship as an embodiment of Roman virtue and civic responsibility, emphasizing the importance of integrity and public service in governance. The formation of the consulship not only defined early Roman political structure, but also influenced key developments in the struggle of the orders. Its principles resonate through subsequent political innovations and conflicts. Understanding its intricacies allows us to appreciate how historical governance models continue to influence modern political thought, highlighting themes of balance, representation, and shared authority. This aspect of Roman history not only shaped the Republic, but laid the groundwork for discussions on governance that remain relevant today. In Episode 2, The Republic Rises, we delve into the early governmental structure of ancient Rome and the intense socio-political conflict known as the struggle of the orders. At the heart of the Republic were the Consuls and the Senate, institutions key to Roman governance. The Consuls, top officials elected annually, held executive powers, leading the military and acting as the heads of state. Meanwhile, the Senate, composed initially of patricians, served as the advisory body, wielding significant influence over legislation and public policy. This structure lay the foundation for Rome's complex political system, pivotal for sustaining its growth and stability. However, the concentration of power among the patricians, the aristocratic class, led to the struggle of the orders, as the plebeians, or common folk, fought for political equality and rights. This conflict significantly shaped Roman politics, fostering gradual reforms, including the creation of the office of the tribune of the plebs, which provided plebeians with political representation and veto powers. Examples of this dynamic include the 12 Tables, Rome's first codification of laws, which balanced the scales of justice by making legal processes transparent and accessible to plebeians. Another instance is the Lex Licinia Sextia, which mandated that one of the two consuls must be a plebeian, thus ensuring that political power was more evenly distributed. Some historians view these reforms as a monumental step towards democratizing Roman society, suggesting they laid groundwork for modern concepts of checks and balances in governance. However, opinions diverge, with some arguing that these measures were mere patrician concessions to prevent civil unrest rather than genuine attempts at equality. Controversies surrounding this era include debates over the effectiveness of these reforms in achieving true social equity. Despite these advances, plebeians often remained socially and economically disadvantaged, challenging the supposed egalitarian progress. Moreover, discussions persist regarding the Republican model's influence on later political frameworks, particularly in modern democracies, and whether it genuinely prioritized public welfare over oligarchic interests. The struggle between patricians and plebeians not only shaped Rome's early republic, but also set precedents for future political systems, influencing debates on class, power, and governance that resonate throughout history. This struggle underscores the theme of Episode 2 by illustrating how intrinsic conflicts and reforms can dramatically influence the evolution and resilience of a political entity.